It's just a car.
Suppose it was Bill.
Barbara.
He knows your car. If he saw it...
He's in Inverness tonight.
Just a car.
Any car.
Oh, it's time I went home.
Yeah.
The children may wake.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to go just yet, though, do we? What is it?
Take me home, I'm lost.
Go away!
No.
Let go! Go away!
Goodness sake.
We can't help her. I have to get home.
She must be drunk. Well, don't stand there in the middle of the road. There's a car coming. Look out! What are you doing?
There's a call box back there. Give me a push. I'm stuck.
Yeah. We're getting help. You're all right, aren't you? Can you hear me?
Get in.
Look, I think she's had it.
No, get in.
Did you phone for an ambulance?
They'll be here any minute.
Well, you were quick.
Get in.
Look, we'll have to wait until the ambulance
There's
comes.
nothing we can do, is there?
Well, I mean...
Names and addresses. Get in.
Yeah. Should have stayed until the ambulance got there.
What can we do?
Well, we could have taken her to hospital ourselves.
Are you out of your mind?
You did phone, didn't you?
Who called the ambulance?
We don't know.
Eh?
We don't know. An anonymous 999 call was made at 1 a.m. She was alive when they reached her, died on the way to hospital.
Who was she?
We don't know that either. There's no handbag or any means of identification at all. Well over 70.
Missing persons?
No report of an old lady.
Coffee, Sergeant?
Thanks.
Make it. I'll finish shaving.
We're sorry to trouble you so early, but not knowing who she was or even what happened to her,
Did she not just have been run over?
well, it could be, but the ambulance men were surprised to find her in the correct first aid position, the, the recovery position.
When can Professor Gilmore start the post-mortem?
10:30.
Oh, blast. I'm in court at 11. I ought to attend the PM.
Oh, but surely Mr. Truscott can take it. Of course, you don't have a depute at the moment, do you, sir?
I don't need a depute.
No, sir.
Oh, blast.
Anyway, there's no great hurry. It's only 7:30 now. That's 3.5 hours before you're due in court.
Where was the emergency call made from?
Lawn Market Street.
But it's miles from the scene of the accident. I'll finish shaving later.
Well off the road, eh?
Just found this. She was missing a shoe.
I drove along here myself last night. I didn't see a thing.
Council wanted to put overhead lighting on this stretch, but Mrs. Campbell put a stop to that.
That woman will have us back in the dark ages in more ways than one.
Spoiled the amenities, she said.
Did she? Anyway, she's got a fine house.
I still got to check if she heard anything last night.
Oh, well, right you are. Oh, Inspector, didn't I pass a phone box back there? Why drive all the way to Lawn Market Street before phoning for an ambulance, huh? Hit-and-run driver gets a wee stab of conscience too late.
Assuming it was just a car that knocked her down, sir.
Oh, well, the post-mortem will tell us.
I doubt if it was the driver who phoned, sir.
Anyone who just found her would have taken her to hospital or used the phone back there.
I'd have ordered, sir.
Well, go to the nearest house, then. Mrs. Campbell's over there and left a name. Oh, disgusting.
There's one other thing, sir. I think there was a mini-car party here last night. Here's some time by the look of the tire marks. Stuck in the mud. Used an anorak to get a grip under the wheel, left it behind. In a hurry. Forensic are coming out to have a look at it.
Oh, well, I'll see it all in your report.
He thinks he's a good driver, too.
You reckon it was here when it happened?
Well, it didn't freeze till well past midnight, and it was here by then.
Youth Centre?
You all right?
Hi, how are you?
Sarah was awake last night when I got in, coughing. She'd been looking for me. I should never have left them on their own. I think she's got croup. I'm worried about her.
Is that all you're worried about?
Oh, the ambulance would have got there at once, Alan. Of course it would.
It didn't. She died. I phoned the hospital.
Come round and see me later. Please.
French trawler.
The fishery protection vessel brought it in 10 minutes ago. It was fishing inside territorial waters.
I could do without that.
The captain would like to see you at 11.
But I'm in court at 11. Oh, well, look, I'll go down there now.
Are you taking anybody with you?
Oh, well, look, phone the police. Tell them to have a man outside to accompany me there in 5 minutes. I'll pick him up on the road. Oh, hello, Bert. Aye, I'll call you back.
Found in your pub.
Lady's toilet this morning. I've not opened it, but I have a notion whose it is. She was in the bar till closing time. Old crone. Putting it away as if there was no tomorrow. 70 if she was a day.
What was she wearing?
Oh, a coat with a cheap fur collar. And a hat that came out of the ark. Without her daughter-in-law had chucked her out.
I sent a message to somebody standing by outside to accompany me to the quay. Where the devil is he?
Sergeant Drummond was going. Find him.
I'm in court in an hour. I've no time to waste.
We seem to have found the old lady's handbag, sir. At least it belongs to someone dressed in the same sort of clothes. A Mrs. Mackay.
Where was this?
She accused my customers of pinching it when all the time she'd left it in the ladies.
And what did you do?
Do?
When you knew she'd lost it?
I knew none of my customers had nicked it.
So?
Well, it had gone closing time by the time she missed it. I looked where I could.
Not the toilet.
Look, I've brought it back, haven't I? There was nothing I could do last night. It was long after hours by then.
Turned her out without even the price of a bus fare on her?
Oh, well, she must have lived somewhere nearby.
According to her pension book, she lived at 14 Margaret Terrace. Now, it's quite a drive from Kirk Street.
And how was I to know that?
Do you know what happened to her? She got knocked down by a hit-and-run driver and killed.
Then you'd better start looking for him, hadn't you, Mr. Driscoll? Before you come blaming me.
About time, Sergeant.
Morning, Mr. Ross. Looking for me?
Yeah, I was just wondering if there was any news about the characters who smashed up the youth centre last week.
Oh, early days, yes. We'll keep you informed.
Yeah.
Was that all?
Yeah, aye. That was all.
He's away to the quay, Mr. Donaldson, and he's due in court in 3 minutes, so even if he comes in now, he won't have time to speak to you. Okay.
I'll have to ask for an adjournment.
Oh, you won't get one.
I've other duties besides being in court.
If you hadn't fired your depute...
Oh, don't you start.
I was quoting the sheriff.
I can manage without a depute.
Then you'll not need to ask for an adjournment, will you?
I didn't know I was going to have a foreign trawler landed in my lap this morning. All I had time to do there was to say that I'd be back. Then there was this accident last night.
Yes, I know about that.
The Glendoran Times go to press this afternoon. So if we don't get that accident in now, there'll not be another chance for a week. So would you get hold of Frank Donaldson?
Oh, Mr. Donaldson's just been on the phone as it happens.
Oh, we'll call him back.
It's 2.5 minutes to 11.
I can tell the time.
Look, Inspector Mingus can give Donaldson the details. Honestly, if you keep the sheriff waiting again...
Well, all right, then. Look, tell the police to give Donaldson everything we've got on that accident. I want to try and shame a few people to come forward by giving it front-page prominence. And another thing...
It's 2 minutes to 11 now.
You're not the speaking clock. That woman left the pub well after closing time without even a handbag. How the hell did she get out into the country? Tell Mingus I want an answer to that question by the time we adjourn for lunch, whatever that may be.
Did you shave this morning?
Did I what?
Shave.
Good morning. Good morning. Mr. Airlie.
Yes, I remember her. A fine old state she was in. She'd caught the right number bus for where she wanted, but it was going the wrong way. We were on our way to Oban before she realised it. By the time I knew she hadn't even enough money for her fare, she was off the bus and shouting abuse at me as if it was my fault.
Ah. So then what did you do?
Well, what could I do? Turn the bus round and drive her home. This is not a taxi I'm running, man.
But what was it, Mr. Cameron, that made you look inside her shopping bag?
I had reason to believe that she'd been shoplifting.
Why?
The way she was acting furtive.
Furtive?
Yes, hanging about the store in a suspicious manner.
Hanging about? Do you really think she would hang about if she'd stolen those goods? Would she not rather have got out and run?
Yes,
Exactly. Did you see the accused take this electric razor worth £9.50 and put it in her bag without paying?
No, but...
Thank you, Mr. Cameron.
Something wrong with the clock, Mr. Sutherland?
Clock?
I do hope we're not keeping you.
Not at all, my lad. I'm sure I find such prolonged and detailed cross-examination of witnesses by the accused's agent as useful to this case as you do yourself.
Oh, quite.
Miss Sheila Grey.
A mini. Probably quite new, good tyres. Parked off the road near a gateway for at least half an hour after 12:15. 2 occupants, presumably male and female.
Well, they'll not come forward. But even 2 men spending half an hour in a parked car off the road in the middle of the night aren't likely to be indulging in anything they'd like folk to know about.
Yes, but somebody might have seen them, Frank. Notice the car even got the number. Those 2 were witnesses.
How can you be sure?
Well, according to the post-mortem findings, her injuries were sustained at least half an hour before she died, and she died in the ambulance at 1:15, which puts the accident at 1:45. Now, that car was there then.
Donaldson. Oh, no. Put it through to Mr. Eliot. It's herself. Take it in your office.
Herself, indeed. Besides, she was found in the proper first aid position, and she couldn't have done that herself, not with a smashed hip.
You mean someone moved her and then left her?
Well, if you run down an old lady and think you've killed her, either you get out and face it, or you drive on fast and try to fool yourself it never happened. It was those 2 in the Mini that moved her, I'm sure of that.
Anything else on them?
Man's about 6 foot, going by a footprint we found where he tried to push the car under an anorak. Along with the other odds and ends in the pockets, there was a scrap of paper with a phone number, Inverness 62131.
Who's that?
It's a firm of wholesalers, indoor sports equipment. We're checking out now anybody who might have made contact by telephone, new customers, but It'll use up man hours. Well, that's it, Frank. If you can find some room on the front page somewhere.
Well, it's a tall order at this stage. But I'll shift things about a bit. What was an old woman doing on that road anyway at that time of night?
Oh, it seems she had a row with her daughter-in-law and got herself thrown out of the house. You know, from 9 o'clock that evening until the moment she died, I can count at least 5 people who could have saved her life before we come to the man who ran her down.
Oh, I can think of 2 more who could have saved. That was Councillor Mrs. Campbell on the phone. Did you know that accident took place not a quarter of a mile from her house?
Yes. But she didn't see anything. I checked.
Her husband did.
Well, nobody told me.
He got home at 1:15 last night.
Yes, but he didn't even pass the scene of the accident.
He's just thought of someone who did. Apparently, a few minutes before he reached his drive last night, he remembers seeing a police car coming towards him.
Police?
Heading back into town. Now, Mrs. Campbell wonders, could that police car have passed the old lady without seeing her? And now you say she was knocked down by 1:45. I reckon she's right.
As a visiting social worker, how well did you come to know the accused?
Very well.
In what circumstances did you find her the night before this happened?
Well, she didn't know which way to turn. Behind with the rent, 2 young children to feed, no man to support her. She was desperate.
Did you know that she'd just come back from London that day?
Yes, I did. She had heard of someone who knew where the man who had deserted her could be found. Not that she found him, but it was worth a try.
How was she off for money after she came back from the metropolis?
She asked if I could lend her some.
And did you?
No.
And this was the night before she claimed to have spent £20 on a transistor radio and an electric shaver, hmm? Thank you, Miss Grey.
Couldn't you send down a note?
He can't come out of court.
A police patrol car passed the scene of the accident soon after it happened and failed to spot Mrs. Mackay. Mrs. Campbell's onto it now and giving her views to the Glendoran Times. Well, you know what she'll say. She's been leading a campaign for months against replacing the old copper on his beat with patrol cars. This is just what she's been waiting for.
Well, Fiscal's got enough on his plate, and I hardly think the reputation of the police is his concern.
He's a friend of the editors. A word to Donaldson from him would help.
Well, I'll tell him if you like.
Oh, and quick. The paper starts printing at 3 o'clock.
Constable Roberts used to patrol that road on his push bike every day. He'd have found her in no time. Nothing ever escaped him. But these days, with impersonal, paper-faced policemen in large cars sweeping the public...
This is not the only town with a modern motorised police force, Mrs. Campbell.
What kind of excuse is that if it fails in its job? Last year, they pulled down the Duke of Argyll's monument in the High Street to ease the traffic flow, they said.
Mrs. Campbell, we're about to go to press, so if you'll excuse
me or not, as you please, Mr. Donaldson.
I doubt this time.
But I'm relying on your integrity as an editor to emphasise one fact. Last night, a super-efficient modern police car passed an old lady dying by the roadside and didn't even see her. Progress? Thank you. Good day.
Good day. Always good for a smashing wee quote or two, eh?
Unfortunately, she arrived too late. I'm not making space for her at this late hour.
You know, it wouldn't take long to remake that. Do you know it was our Mrs. Councillor Campbell who objected to street lighting there? Now, that could have prevented the accident altogether. Look, I'll get Councillor Gilby to bring that one up. It's a great story, Frank.
You think so, do you?
Aye, well, it focuses attention on the key issues before this town.
Oh, I'm sure it was a rare consolation to Mrs. Mackay as she lay dying on the frozen grass last night to know that if no one found her, at least she was giving us a chance to focus attention on the issues before this town. And you a chance to write a powerful, hard-hitting piece.
Oh, come on.
With a Jimmy Eliot byline that in your mind's eye is already winging its way to the desk of the editor of the Scottish Daily Express. There's a wee sample of the ace report as well. Get me the Procurator Fiscal's office.
Are you going to tell him what she's been saying?
I am.
Oh, come on. I know he's a friend of yours, but it's you that runs the paper, not the Fiscal.
Nor is it my staff.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I need your copy by 1 o'clock.
Front page.
There. Fatal accident raises storm. Councillor blames police.
You beauty.
What? In court. Damn.
Who did you stay with in London?
A friend.
And did you pay her anything for putting you up?
No.
And since you hitchhiked there and back, were you as short of money on your return as we've been led to believe?
One moment, Mr. Airlie. I'm not altogether certain that we have the undivided attention of the Procurator Fiscal. If something has materialized that demands your presence elsewhere, I hope you won't hesitate to ask for an adjournment.
Not at all, my lad.
I am aware that at the moment you lack a depute.
The Procurator Fiscal lacks for nothing, my lad. I assure the court I'm all attention.
The court is reassured.
Why doesn't he ask for an adjournment?
I guessed he wouldn't. Or I'd also have told him those French trawlermen are driving them all crazy down at the quay. There's going to be an international incident there soon.
If only you could explain to the sheriff.
He doesn't want the sheriff to know how busy he is and be forced into having a depute. He's so obstinate.
Miss Walker, what puzzles me is why you felt the need to procure a razor. I'm the first to admit that there's at least one person in this court who could well do with a shave. I don't feel that applies to you.
It was for Iain.
That is the father of your children.
Yes.
Whom you went to London to look for, but failed to find.
Look, I bought the thing anyway. Not at that shop, somewhere else. I bought all these things, didn't I?
Well, that seems an appropriate moment to adjourn for lunch, and possibly food for thought as well. Court adjourned at 2 o'clock.
When an old lady lay dying on the Connell Road last night, a police patrol car passed without seeing her. My reporter's words. It's opening to what he hopes will be on the front page tomorrow.
It's a bit harsh, Frank.
Purely from a journalistic point of view, it's the right thing to hit. It's a fact. A police guard did miss her.
They've been trying to get you all morning about that French trawler.
I'll be down there as soon as I possibly can.
The inspector and Mr. Donaldson are waiting for you.
She was well off the road, in long grass, in a ditch almost at night. It's not so easy to see from a car.
Oh, especially if you're in haste to get home and you're tired and you've got the windows closed to keep out the cold. P.C. Roberts on his bike would have spotted her. I'll wager Mrs. Campbell made that point.
Well, I'm not obliged to give her a platform. Not even obliged to run this on our front page tomorrow. Between you and me, I don't want to remark at all. So if the police have any good reason for playing this whole thing...
No, all the police have to do is to find that maniac of a driver before you go to press.
Chances of finding a hit-and-run driver are remote enough anyway. But by 3 o'clock this afternoon, when the country edition of
The town edition doesn't go to bed till 7, does it?
True.
Well, that's the one that counts. So get something by then to retrieve your reputation. If it's only the couple in the Mini. And Frank, if you want to help, get that young sleuth of a reporter onto the job. Detective journalism is right up his street.
Well, that's the story we're going to press with.
Christine has the post-mortem report if you want to read that.
Aye, bring it in, girl, will you? I've got to reread the statements made by Alison Walker when she was first arrested for shoplifting. Hey, put them down, will you?
Why? Something come up?
Aye. Something's come up that I should have noticed if I hadn't been so busy. At least the sheriff thinks I would have. Damn him.
You said you'd come round.
Yeah. I've got to get this place straight. We reopen tonight. I left the office till last.
Bill will be home soon. Miss Sarah tells him she couldn't find me last night. About that accident, you didn't go to the...
No. No, not yet.
You can't, Alan. Bill will be the first to hear, and if he knows I was with you, he'd throw me out in the street. He won't.
Look, they've got my anorak.
You'll not last long as youth leader if you find out you're running around with married women. Not in this place.
Look, if they trace it...
There's nothing we can do for that old woman now.
No, not now.
Now, who could want the phone number of a wholesaler in indoor sports equipment?
Presumably someone who wants indoor sports equipment in bulk.
Bulk?
Well, if you just want a ping-pong bat, you go into a shop.
Yeah. Some sort of club?
School, billiard hall, youth club. But why in bulk?
They had vandals in last week.
Who?
Well, the youth centre, they tore the place apart. Billiard tables, chairs. And Alan Ross is a 6-footer.
And he also drives a Mini.
I'll get right over there.
No, I will. You'll only stir it.
Well, I should hope so, yeah.
If it is Alan Ross, it was a fine job in this town. I've no wish to see him lose it. Besides, some very puritanical people are responsible for his appointment.
I'd have said he should have thought of that, mate.
This isn't your town, Jimmy. You're just passing through, remember? On your way to higher things. And I'll help you get them, don't you worry. You'll be in the express yet.
I ask you again, Miss Walker, you had not seen the father of your children for more than a year. Why did you choose that week to go and look for him?
I object, my lord. What has this possibly to do with the charge against my client?
I'm bound to say that the question seems far removed from the possible theft of an electric razor from a local department store.
I'll not deny, my lad, that we have some distance to travel before the connection is established. But what I am trying to elicit from the accused is a possible motive for acquiring, either legally or illegally, an electric razor, a point which you will remember interested my lad earlier.
I agree.
Well, Miss Walker, why did you choose that week to go and look for him?
I needed him, didn't I? Everything would be all right if he'd come back. So when I got the address of somebody who knew him in London...
Now, that was a Miss Anne Wills.
Yes.
How well did you find she knew him?
She was living with him.
But you've already told this court that you didn't find him.
I couldn't see what business it was of anyone's.
Miss Walker, I must remind you that you are on oath.
What did he say to you?
I object, my lord, to drag Miss
Oh,
Walker's
Mr.
private life
Airlie,
into
we
this.
have already had the Procurator Fiscal's assurance that this line of inquiry will ultimately shed some light on the issue before us, and in my experience, he is usually to be relied upon.
I'm obliged, my lad. So, what did he say to you, Miss Walker, when you told him how much you needed him at home?
He told me to get lost.
And what did you do then?
What does it matter? What does any of it matter?
Answer the question, Miss Walker.
I went shopping.
Made a fine mess of the place.
Yeah, of course.
How are you replacing it all?
Oh, I'll get the name of some firm we can supply it easily enough.
Who?
Oh, I forget. I took their phone number down. It's no problem.
Left it in your anorak. The phone number.
Well, what are you here for?
It's press day. So if there's any news how you're going to replace all this...
You come yourself. The editor.
So, by way of consolation, you spent your last remaining pounds on some nice clothes for yourself, hitchhiked home, found the children still hungry, the rent still unpaid, everything as it was still there. What did you do next morning?
You know what I did.
Went shopping again.
Yes.
With no money?
Didn't spend all I had in London.
But you bought an electric razor for a man who had told you only a few days before to get lost. Now, why?
It was for him. Well, maybe I thought if I could somehow give him a present. I can't explain it.
Mr. Cameron, the manager of the shop, claims that before you left the shop, you hung about looking furtive.
But Mr. Airlie here said I wouldn't have hung about if it nicked anything, would I?
You might, if no one had seen you do the nicking and you'd wanted to get caught. Safe in jail? No more worries?
Get him out of court.
I can't.
I found out who it was in that minicar last night.
Then tell the police.
The fiscal first.
He'll only tell the police. Look, I'll get
Not until the fiscal knows. It's in his own interest, Miss Russell.
Miss Grey tried to get me a job, but who looks after the kids when I'm working? Neighbours don't help. Well, at least they'll be looked after now, won't they? By someone. What else could I do?
You could have changed your plea earlier and saved us all a deal of trouble.
Why should I save you trouble? No one ever saves me trouble. You would be found guilty in the end anyway. But you weren't going to have it in a plate. Rather enjoyed seeing you all here today, and if that means I go down for longer, what do I care?
Then do I take it that you are changing your plea to guilty?
I am, sir.
Mr. Airlie. Mr. Sutherland, any previous convictions?
Oh, yes, my lord. You may not have known, but at least you might have guessed.
Over at last?
Adjourn till tomorrow for the sheriff to consider the sentence. And if he sends her to jail, there'll be no one more pleased than herself.
I wouldn't quite say that.
Come in, Frank. That's why she did it, man. To be looked after. Cry for help. If you couldn't see that in your own client, well...
It's my job to give her the best defense available, whatever I might have guessed. And since no one saw her steal those things, it was up to the Crown to prove she did.
If just one person had come to me in time, I could have found a better solution than taking her to court. As it is, the sheriff will remand her for a psychiatric report, and the whole machinery of the law becomes involved in something that should be sorted out by social and medical workers.
Look, I'll come back later.
No, I won't.
It was up to you as the fiscal to get at the truth, not me. And if you were too busy in all your manifold duties to read between the lines of her statements, well, you needn't take it out on me.
He's right, blast him. Any minute now, I'm going to have to admit I need a deputy. Sit down, Frank.
No.
Well?
It was Alan Ross in that minicar.
Which Alan Ross?
The youth centre Alan Ross. And there was a married woman with him, which is why he hasn't dared come forward.
And did they see the accident?
They did.
And just left her there?
Now, wait, John. He saw the car that ran her down.
Well, all the more reason.
But he even got part of the number, FSB.
Local?
Yes.
What kind of car?
Well, he thinks it was a light brown Rover.
You mean like mine?
One like yours.
And did the woman see the accident?
Well, claims she saw nothing.
How did you find the man, anyway?
Well, who wants sports equipment more than the youth centre at the moment? And a youth leader is qualified in first aid. Mega should have thought of it himself.
Well, he would have done in time.
Well, it didn't take Jimmy and me long to tumble to that. But I am the only one who's talked to Ross, and he'll not breathe a word to anyone. He's far too much to lose. So is the girl.
You're not suggesting that we keep this to ourselves.
Well, once you make it official, I'll have to publish in the papers what kind of car they're looking for.
Well, I should hope so.
But you're the most famous owner of a light brown Rover for miles around. What's more, everyone knows that you live out of town and on your own. I doubt if there's anyone who could say what time you got home last night.
Or even when I left the office. I worked late. I mean, I do mostly these days.
Without even a deputy to speak up for you.
Would I have asked you to put that accident on the front page if I'd anything to do with it?
Oh, now, John. Most people will think I put it on the front page in spite of you. And when Jimmy Eliot writes in his story that it was the Glendoran Times and not the police who found the witness, that isn't going to help much either. People need scapegoats for a tragedy like this. Well, they don't come any bigger than the Procurator Fiscal.
Well, scapegoats don't even need to defend themselves once the real quarry is found.
But will it be? As the inspector said, how often is a hit-and-run driver caught?
Well, we only have to check on light brown Rovers with local registrations. There can't be that many.
But Ross might have got it wrong. He admits he isn't sure. It mightn't have been a Rover after all, but if you let people think it was and don't find the man, police inquiries proceeding as usual, but no one ever caught now, how is that going to be interpreted?
Well, I've never yet lived in fear of what people might think of me.
You've never been under suspicion before, and in your job you can't afford to be. But the fact that you will be from now on, however unjustly, will in itself be grounds in Edinburgh to have you removed from office. Now, John, we're all friends. Now, you know I'm talking sense. Find that driver, and of course you're all right. But if not, once it's known it was a car like yours, you'll be finished.
Is the inspector in his office?
No, sir. He's in the sergeant's room. I'll get him for you. Second time today, sir. Oh, sir, the fiscal's here to...
Good evening, sir. I've been trying to phone you.
Anything to report?
No, but we're getting near the deadline for the newspaper. Look, if they can keep this story off the front page...
The Glendoran Times have excelled themselves, Archie. They found out who was in that Mini. Alan Ross, the youth centre. You and Sergeant McKechnie better get round there straight away.
Did you see who ran her down?
A glimpse. A light brown Rover, FSB. He didn't get the number.
I'll get on to that right away. A light brown Rover?
Aye.
Like yours?
Like mine.
Like yours?
Like mine. Good night.
The fiscal?
There must be dozens of rovers.
Have you put the details in the town edition?
Police looking for a light brown rover, registration initials FSB. Mr. Sutherland insisted, so that lets him out.
The hell it does. He had no choice once you knew.
On the contrary, he had every choice.
Did you offer to keep this quiet?
Look, if you think the fiscal wouldn't stop for an accident...
But with Ross there as a witness, other people might ride out a conviction for manslaughter, but not a procurator fiscal. I mean, if I had been in
Oh,
his...
yes. You wouldn't stop for anything that might endanger your career. Well, there's your front page story to help you on your way. I'll give you a good reference to go with it. We can do without your kind of journalism in this town, Jimmy.
I wonder.
For the Procurator Fiscal, with my compliments. Blaming me for what happened, when it was a car like his that ran her down. Send it to him, sir.
His office is not here.
The inspector, then? Not that the police are going to chase this one, are they?
You're making some very rash accusations, Mr. Grant.
It's the Fiscal who makes accusations, not me. Catch that driver. And there's drinks in the house for Mr. Sutherland any time he drops in. But if you don't, if all this just quietly fades away, then I'll not be the only one to guess the reason why.
The sheriff's read it too. A pity it had to be a car like mine, he said. A regrettable coincidence.
It's an extraordinary coincidence.
I've been saying that to myself all night. What does Frank Donaldson want with me?
He didn't say.
When is he coming?
Any time now. Oh, and Inspector Mingus would like to see you at your earliest convenience.
About his report?
No. William MacDonald was picked up on the Glasgow Road last night.
In somebody else's car again?
Yes.
Hardly a matter to change the fate of nations.
It was the Provost's car.
Oh. Well, we better see the inspector straight away, eh? Oh, the Provost hasn't just acquired a light brown Rover by any chance, has he?
No, I don't think so.
Pity. Well, the police have checked on all cars of that description. None of them anywhere near the scene of the accident.
Alan Ross was wrong, then?
Possibly.
Possibly.
I see he still sticks to his story. Oh, I've asked the inspector to check on all late licenses, Cayleys, Hoolies, and other junketings.
I can tell you of one party. The annual booze-up of the Glendoran Athletic was that night. Another Jimmy Eliot scoop.
Oh, yes. An alarmingly prolific young man, that Mr. Eliot. Eh? Well, coffee now, I think, Miss Russell.
Good morning. I'm giving the police 2 weeks to find that driver, Mr. Sutherland.
I don't think I've a note of your appointment, Mrs. Campbell.
2 weeks. Until then, you have my word, I'll make no comment. But if in that time the police have been unable to bring charges, then I must warn you that I, for one, have no time for a fiscal whom everyone in this town seems to think capable of drunken driving and manslaughter.
Good morning, Mrs. Campbell. I'm sorry. Get back to your sentry post, woman, and this time pull up the drawbridge. What the hell's this I've picked up, anyway?
From Edinburgh. It's the curriculum vitae of the new depute you've to have. Subject to your approval, of course. They can't force him on you.
Much.
Oh, Mr. Donaldson's here now.
Oh, splendid. Show him in, will you? Come in, Frank. Tell the inspector to come in as soon as he arrives. Well, what can I do for you?
Have you read my editorial?
Oh, there was enough to chew on in the headlines before getting down to the small print.
It should help. Without naming names, I've indicated all the people that could have saved that woman's life and didn't. And chastised the town for looking for scapegoats. But at least it'll explain why I'll have nothing in the paper next week about the accident.
Oh, I hope you'll have details of a charge next week.
Look, let it rest, John. People have short memories.
Not what you said last night, eh? A cloud of suspicion.
That will blow over as long as you don't stir it.
Mm-hmm.
Look, get the police to drop it. It's within your powers. John, Ross is a fine boy. He's done great things for the youth of this town. Ask anyone. But if he had to say in court what he was doing that night with a married woman, and she'd suffer, and her children, I know the man she's married to.
But they let that woman die. Now, they could have put her in a car and taken her to hospital. It could only have taken 5 minutes. I wonder if he hasn't gone even further to wriggle out of this.
How do you mean?
Well, I mean, if he's so anxious to save his job with the youth of this town and save that lass from a damn good hiding from her husband, he must have been dead scared when he found out that you and young Eliot were onto him. How did he behave when you told him?
Dead scared.
I'm not surprised. Saw himself in court for aiding and abetting as well. He could be.
Who gains from all this probing?
I bet he thought fast. I mean, no good saying he didn't see the car. That wouldn't have stopped us going after it. But if he could somehow have got the fiscal suspected.
What?
Well, I mean, say it was a light brown Rover in the hope that I might soft pedal the whole thing. I mean, even you thought that it was in my interest to do so.
No, now look, he
would...
would...
Frank, it is too much of a coincidence that he should name a car like mine.
Look, let it alone. What good will it say?
Suppose he tried to frame me.
Now, you've no evidence for that.
No, indeed, no. The police have accounted for all the cars, including mine. No. Somebody must have put him up to it.
Now, why would anyone do that?
Well, I mean, someone as concerned with his welfare as you are. I mean, after all, it was you who saw him first. Frank, I'm going to get that boy round here, and I'm going to get the truth out of him if I have to nail him to that wall.
I did it for the boy's good. Look, I couldn't bear to see that lad crucified for something he did out of panic.
The annual dinner of the Glendoran Athletic took place that night. I mean, young Eliot's written it up in your paper. When did he leave the function? I mean, before you or after you? I mean, you were there, weren't you, as president of the club? Ah, could you ask Sergeant McKechnie to bring on Alan Ross, please? And I think Mr. Donaldson here would like to show you his car so that you can inspect it for possible damage.
You're not suggesting that
Look,
it
I'm
was
suggesting this is how the police can get at this quickly, by examining your car. And also by asking you where you were at 12:45 that night, and in what condition.
It didn't have to be this way.
Trying to incriminate me. I mean, the thought only came to me last night. I mean, I've tried to put it out of my mind. A friend, a man I've known for years. Well, a procurator fiscal shouldn't have friends. He can't afford them.
Look, I thought that boy would have taken her to hospital. I thought he was bound to. I've got a job I can't afford to lose either, John. Look, if I had stopped and he'd recognized me, as I knew he would... Look, I thought he'd have seen that she was all right. He was there, on the road. John, listen. Look, if you charge me with this, I warn you what my defense will be. That I'm not the only one responsible. I'll have Ross in court for one, and that'll finish him in this town. And I'll have his girlfriend, too. The one who pretended she'd called the ambulance. And it's her kids that will suffer most when her husband throws her out. And I'll have that publican who sent her on her way with no money, and the driver who put her off the bus, and her daughter-in-law. Now, are you prepared to let all these people suffer so I can go to jail? I'm no more guilty than they are. Is that justice?
Yes, Frank. I'm afraid that is exactly what justice is. Approved.
Already?
Tell Edinburgh that the sooner he gets here, the better. Good morning.